Can this $170 cheap juicer from Amazon starch the Nama J2? You know what? I actually think it could. So I went to Amazon and I spent hours combing through the listings and I think I spotted the next Nama killer. And after seeing all of these amazing 5-star reviews, maybe you shouldn't wait to get the J2. Maybe you should just get this cheap juicer instead. But later I found something that could change everything. And if you don't learn about this one thing, you might be rolling the dice with your health. So in this video, I'm about to show you what $170 really gets you, the one thing that may or may not change your mind, and why buying a cheap juicer now and upgrading later could be a horrible idea. The hopper on the J2 has a 70-ounce capacity, good for making 2 to 3 cups of juice, while the hopper on the cheap juicer has a 42-ounce capacity, which means you'll only be able to make about 1 to 2 cups at one time. The Nama J2 comes with a juicing screen and an auger separate, while the cheaper juicer has a juicing screen attached to its base of the hopper. It has less surface area, fewer holes, and larger ones at the top versus the J2. Does this have a massive effect on the juice yield? Well, we're gonna find out later. And here's what the J2 auger looks like. It's cylindrical, it feels more sturdy, and it's got these grooves which can help grip more produce and squeeze out more juice. The auger on the budget juicer is taller, and compared to the J2, it's light and it feels as cheap as it looks. What's interesting is that the blade is attached to the auger instead of the hopper, and it doesn't feel that sharp compared to the blades on the Nama. The juicing chamber on the Nama J2 has this mechanism that flips out. This helps you clean out pulp faster, while the cheap juicer doesn't. Instead, it has this orange rubber tab. And it turns out that the budget juicer is actually dishwasher safe, but the Nama J2 isn't. So that's actually pretty cool. Putting the budget juicer together was a bit tricky. The hopper lid has to be open before you twist it. Then when you close the lid, it locks the machine. For the link shop, there's no mention of a warranty on the product listing page, but according to the review section, it's a 2-year limited warranty that you can extend to 5 years. For the J2, it's a 15-year warranty on the motor and the parts, which the budget juicer just can't compete with. I've heard Nama customer service is great, and if you actually have to claim that warranty, you can count on their support reps to get back to you right away. So naturally, I was a bit curious about the Amazon juicer's background. On their product page, they proudly feature their entrepreneurial founder, Jason L. Something felt off, and I did some digging, and after thorough searches on Google and LinkedIn, nothing. Not a single mention of this supposedly passionate founder anywhere on the internet. It's almost like he doesn't exist. Then I noticed their support email uses a .ch domain. That was the first red flag, and it's just the tip of the iceberg of what I uncovered about these Amazon juicers. But even though they lied about their origin story, I don't really care as long as the machine performs. So before we talk about the other red flags, which you definitely shouldn't ignore, let's see how this thing does against the J2. To kick things off, we'll use equal amounts of carrots. Each bowl weighs about 12.5 ounces. Now let's load up each of these juicers, turn them on, and see how they do. The Amazon juicer sounds more like a blender. It'd be great if the machine came with a set of earplugs. The J2 finished first, so I'm just gonna turn it off, then the Amazon juicer finished. Let's give both of these machines a tip just to make sure that we get all the juice. And now for the moment of truth, how much yield did we get with these? On the Amazon juicer, we got 168 milliliters. Time to whip out the sieve and check out the pulp. That looks pretty chunky to me. I'm just gonna move that to a bowl so that we can compare it later. Next up is the J2, and we've got 193 milliliters of juice. Let's run the juice through a sieve and see how much pulp we get. Wow, okay, that's significantly less. I'm going to move that to a bowl too. So here's a side-by-side comparison of the bowls, squeeze test on the Amazon juicer, and here's a squeeze test on the J2. Okay, so the J2 is the clear winner by a long shot, but I didn't want to count out the Amazon juicer just yet. I think I remember reading somewhere in the reviews that it actually performs like a powerhouse with celery. Let's put that to the test. I'm gonna weigh out 7.1 ounces of celery for both juicers. Now I'm just gonna load each of these up, flick them on, and see what happens. Okay, that's a surprise. Both of these finished at the same time. I'll go ahead and tip both machines. First up is the Amazon juicer. So we've got 128 milliliters of celery juice. Looks promising so far. Now we're gonna whip out a sieve and check out the pulp. Wow, okay, that's much better than the carrots. I'll move that to a bowl so that we can compare it later. Let's check out the J2. We've got 157 milliliters of celery juice. Now let's run it through a sieve and then move that to another bowl. Whoa, okay, the J2 had less pulp, but the Amazon juicer still impressed me. Squeeze test on the Amazon juicer. Here's the squeeze test on the J2. If you're on a tight budget, it feels like you'd be able to get away with one of these Amazon juicers. To me, it actually feels like the machine could be good enough for now, but stop. Before you click the buy it now button, there's something you need to know. And if you ignore what I'm about to tell you, you could be putting both your wallet and your health at risk. Before you say the J2 is too expensive, buying the cheaper juicer might actually cost you more in the long run. With all these 5-star reviews on Amazon, it feels like the cheaper juicer might not be that bad. But then I found this 2020 study by FakeSpot, which analyzed over 7 million Amazon reviews and found 42% of them were fake. Then I spent hours reading heartbreaking comments from people who learned the hard way. One person's cheap juicer broke after 2 months, no replacement parts. Another went through 3 budget juicers before finally getting a Nama. And my favorite comment, just buy 3, because that's exactly what'll end up happening. Now, instead of buying 3 subpar Amazon juicers, you can just save up for the J2. It also comes with a 15-year warranty for peace of mind, so it's probably the last juicer you're ever gonna need. And I get why some people would say, oh, I'll just buy the cheaper juicer and put the cost savings towards higher quality produce. The Nama J2 has a much better yield than the cheap Amazon juicer, which means your high quality produce will go to waste on half juice fruits and vegetables. And with the price of groceries these days, it's like lighting your wallet on fire. Now, another thing people say is, I'll just get the cheap one now and I'll get the J2 later. Well, the J2 is made in Korea by a trustworthy company who's been manufacturing juicers for over 50 years. Take a look at this Amazon juicer brand, Ian Orris. The seller's business name includes the words automobile maintenance company. Are they making your juicer right next to the car parts in some factory we know nothing about? I wouldn't want to roll the dice with these guys or any other cheap juicers from Amazon because you could be putting your health in danger. Many of these Amazon juicers are made in China by sketchy sellers who might cut corners to save a buck. And while these listings say BPA free, how are we supposed to trust them? What if they're actually using cheaper BPAs and microplastics that contain forever chemicals? These are substances that don't leave your body and they stay there forever. This can lead to serious issues like hormone disruption, immune system damage, and even increased risk of cancer. If you don't believe me, check out the lengths Chinese sellers will go to sell dangerous products in the US. Fake honey illegally transshipped through third world countries to avoid detection, counterfeit toothpaste with harmful chemicals, and lead paint in children's toys. Even the US government admits they have limited regulatory resources to catch everything. So when these companies cut corners, they could be cutting corners with your health and your family's safety. And I don't know about you, but I'm not willing to gamble with toxic chemicals just to save a few $100, especially when these chemicals might be swimming around in my bloodstream for the next 60 years. I'd much rather go with a trusted brand like Nama that manufactures out of South Korea, where the safety regulations are much stricter. And look, I want to be fair here. I'm sure some of these juicers from China are manufactured in legit facilities with proper safety standards, but the problem is, how can you tell which ones are legit and which ones aren't? And if you're still here, it's probably because you feel the Nama is safer and a better investment in your health. And to help you save money, I'll leave a link in the description below with the best discount available. But if the J2 is still not in your budget, check out this video for an even cheaper option.